What's up, YouTube and Buddhasport.com? This is Matt. I'm back for my WEC 48 predictions. I'm going to jump right into the prelims. We've got a lot of fights to predict here, so I'm going to try to knock them all out in the 10 minutes I'm allowed. First fight, Rani Yahya versus Takeya Mizugaki. Yahya is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. He's a former Abu Dhabi champion, 2007. He's coming off a loss to Joseph Benavidez via TKO. Before that, he was on a 3-fight win streak, winning submission of the night in all 3 fights. He's fighting Takeya Mizugaki, who is a boxer. He's got a 12-4-2 record. He is, I believe, the Shudo Rookie of the Year in 2003. Best known for his 5-round war that he had with Miguel Torres. And he's coming off a loss to Scott Jorgensen at WEC 45. Before that, he beat Jeff Cerrone at WEC 42 via submission. If Mizugaki can keep this fight standing, I predict that he's going to win the fight pretty easily. Yahya seems to look disoriented when he tries striking. Now, with that being said, if Yahya does manage to get this fight to the ground, it changes the dynamic of the entire fight. So, my official prediction, I'm going to go ahead and say Mizugaki by 2nd round TKO. Then we're going to move on to the Spike prelims. First fight, we got Anthony Pettis versus Alex Karalexis. Anthony Pettis is coming off that devastating head kick win over Danny Castillo. He's a Taekwondo fighter. He's got an 8-1 record. He was on a 7-fight win streak before losing to Bart Palashevsky. And like I said, he's coming off the win over Danny Castillo. It was KO of the night. He's fighting Alex Karalexis, a kickboxer, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter with a 10-4 record. He's an alum of The Ultimate Fighter. He's got some big fights under his belt, Kenny Florian being one of them. Unfortunately, the kid hasn't fought in over a year. So I think Anthony Pettis' stand-up's going to be a little much for Karalexis, and I can see Pettis catching him. So I'm going to go with this one. I think it's going to end very quickly. It's going to be Anthony Pettis via KO late 1st round. And then next fight after that, we got Chan Sung, the Korean zombie Jung, versus Leonard Garcia. Hapkido fighter for Chan Sung. He's got a record of 10-1. 6 of his last 10 wins have come via submission. He's also a pro kickboxer. This is his WEC debut. Excuse me. He's fighting Leonard Garcia, who's a boxer wrestler with a 17-5-1 record. His last 4 fights, though, he's 1 win, 2 losses, 1 draw. He's coming out of Greg Jackson's camp, so he trains with a lot of notable fighters. He had his really tough war with Roger Huerta. He had the knockout loss to Mike Brown. He's most famous for knocking out Jens Pulver there in Corpus Christi, Texas. So I think Garcia is going to come in. He's always one to overcommit on his strikes, throw his whole body into those strikes. Don't know a lot about this young kid, but I usually like to go out on a limb at least one fight, and I'm going to do that in this fight. And I'm going to say Shang Tsung Jung, the Korean zombie, is going to tap Leonard Garcia out in the 2nd round via a triangle choke. Then we go down to the main card. Excuse me. Where Scott Jorgensen's fighting Antonio Banuelos. Banuelos is a boxer wrestler with a 17-5 record. He's on a 3-fight win streak, including a win over Jorgensen. This is a little revenge for Jorgensen, because the last time Jorgensen lost was to Banuelos. And Banuelos is I think he fought Kenji Osawa in his last fight, winning by decision. He's also got a win over Cole Escobedo, who's a UFC fighter. Jorgensen is a wrestler with a 93 record. He's on a 3-fight win streak since his loss to Banuelos. And he's a Pac-10 champion 3 times, I believe, and he's also a top 12 national champion finisher in wrestling. Jorgensen's been on a tear lately. I think he's soon in line for a title shot. I don't think this fight's going to be any difference. He likes to go to the guillotine, and I think he's going to overwhelm Banuelos and catch him in the guillotine. 1st round submission for Scott Jorgensen. Then we're going to go to Shane Roller versus Anthony Ninjukawane, excuse me. Shane Roller is a wrestler. He's got a 7-2 record. He's on a 2-fight win streak since being KO'd by Ben Henderson. He's got wins over Danny Castillo, Marcus Hicks. The Castillo fight won him submission of the night. He's facing Anthony Njokuani, who's a Muay Thai fighter with a 12-2-1 record. He's also on a 3-fight win streak, and also his most current loss is to Ben Henderson. I believe his was via submission, though. He's been awarded KO of the night his last 3 fights, including his last fight over Chris Ordecki with a vicious head kick. So I think this fight's not going to be much different for Njokuani. He's going to probably stop Shane Roller. Shane Roller likes to box more than he probably should. So I'm going to go Anthony Njokuani with a knockout in the 2nd round. Then we move on to the 3 main fights on this card. This one including Manny Gambarian and Mike Brown. This is Manny Gambarian's 3rd fight since he dropped down to featherweight. Mike Brown, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. He's also a wrestler. He's got a 23-5 in record. Before he lost his belt to Jose Aldo, he was on a 10-fight winning streak, including wins over 2 over Faber, Leonard Garcia, Jeff Curran, Eve Edwards, just to name a few off the top of my head. Gambarian's a judo fighter. He's a cousin of Carl Parisian. He's got a 10-4 record. He's a black belt in judo. He's on a 2-fight winning streak since moving to featherweight. And he also owns a 12-second knockout over Rob Emerson, which is a pretty impressive feat. One of the fastest KOs in UFC history. I think Gambarian's probably going to try to stand with Mike Brown. Mike Brown's got that vicious overhand right. I see it connecting early. And I'm going to go ahead. And I don't even think it's going out on a limb. Nick, I know you disagree with this one, but give me a call. We'll put a little wager on it. Mike Brown versus Manny Gambarian is going to end in a Mike Brown 1st round KO via overhand right forehead smash. Then we have our main 2 fights on the card. We have Donald Cerrone versus Benson Henderson, and then Jose Aldo versus Uriah Faber. Donald Cerrone, Muay Thai fighter. He's 11-2-1. He's got 4 fight of the night wins. He's got a fight of the year via Sherdog with his last fight with Ben Henderson. And although he is a Muay Thai fighter, he's got great grappling, amazing leg kicks, and he's just a stud, never in a boring fight. Ben Henderson, on the other hand, is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. He's also a wrestler. He's 11-1 record, I believe. And I think he's on a 10-fight win streak. He's got wins over Anthony Njokuani, Shane Roller. He's got the win over Cerrone. Also has a win over Jamie Varner. And he's a 2-time wrestling All-American back when he was in college in Nebraska, I think. Not Nebraska University. I just know he went to college in Nebraska. I think that he's probably going to control this fight with his wrestling. I like Cerrone a lot, and he does have good grappling. Ben Henderson, I think, is more technical in the grappling. He's got better wrestling. Although Cerrone does have some good sweeps off of his back because of his long limbs, enables him to achieve those sweeps. Ben Henderson's a tough dude. He's hungry. I think he's gonna come into the fight probably in better shape. Cerrone is notoriously a slow starter, and with a kid like Ben Henderson, he can't be a slow starter. So I'm going to go Ben Henderson's going to retain his lightweight championship via submission. Then we're going to shoot to the main event. I got a minute and a half to knock this one out. Jose Aldo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, 16-1 record on a 9-fight win streak. Last 5 fights, all wins via KO, including the amazing double flying knee KO at Cub Swanson. He's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but he's also one of the most dynamic strikers in MMA. He's fighting my boy Uriah Faber, who's a wrestler with a 23-3-1 record, coming off the win over Asun Sao. Asun Sao had never been knocked down. Faber knocked him down. Had never been choked out. Submitted. Faber choked him out. Faber's only 3 losses, twice to Mike Brown, and once to once to I was a little foreshadowing right there. Once to Tyson Griffin via TKO. Unfortunately, I love Uriah Faber, and I hope I'm wrong in this. I actually put money on Uriah Faber to win this fight. Although, I like to be serious in these predictions. I like to be as accurate as possible. I'm going to go ahead and it sickens me to even say it. Jose Aldo, 2nd round, TKO. So those are my predictions. Feel free to comment. If you think I'm bullshit, tell me I'm bullshit. I love to hear those. So subscribe to my YouTube page, MMA@Bull, just like Matt with an extra M. So check out Buddhasport.com. I'm a staff writer on there. Nicholas Marabelli busts his ass to make sure that the website's one of the top MMA websites on the market. So come check us out. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next.